Hi, welcome to Fake News Friday. This is where we take a look at some of the fake stories that have been making the rounds in the past 1 week or so and completely tear them to shreds. I'm going to call this the armed robber edition. And the reason is because the first story is a story that's been making the rounds saying that Reverend Ezekiel Dachomo, you know him, the outspoken pastor who is known for burying victims of terror attacks, was secretly an armed robber back in the 1980s. Who knew that? Well, forget sermons and community activism. He was apparently moonlighting as a bad guy. Except for one thing, not a single reputable news source, biography, or credible report has ever documented this. Not one. So if you saw anybody saying this, it's simply not true. Now, here's what these caused these stories. Some people were upset with him because of what he said while he was conducting a mass burial. He kind of got emotional and he said some things about the religion of the suspected attackers, and people from that religious background lashed out, and that's where these stories all came from. Reverend Dachomo, as you know, is a pastor, a human rights activist, outspoken against violence and terrorism, as we all know. And these viral posts claiming he had a criminal past are just a classic smear campaign. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a smear campaign by someone who doesn't like being called out for the slaughter of innocent people. Now, just because someone accuses someone by shouting armed robber online doesn't mean he was actually one. So unless you have a time machine like Michael J. Fox did in Back to the Future and police records from the 1980s, just give it a rest. All right? The second story. Do you remember the altercation, if I can call it that, between the FCT minister Nyesom Wike and a naval officer identified as Lieutenant Yerima some months ago? Well, that story has grown wings and has flown into the Hall of Fake News, the Fake News Hall of Fame, should I say? Now, over the past 1 week, there's been a story making the rounds that Lieutenant Yerima has been crying out that he is being threatened with dismissal from the army. Now, this is another classic case of a remix gone wrong, because there is no such thing. No such thing happened. If you look at it, all the credible sources regarding that incident all have it that the military was ready to protect him as long as he was following orders, which he clearly told the minister he was. So that story is totally and completely made up. Now here's another one regarding the Afcon drama. We've been hearing that the Guinea national football team has marched into CAF's offices demanding that the Moroccan national team be stripped of their 1976 Afcon title. The reason? Because apparently during that game, they also walked off the pitch, just like Senegal did. Yep. Well, it seems like logic, except the small problem is Guinea themselves have come out to say, we didn't file anything, we're not challenging anything, please leave us out of this nonsense. So what really happened? Somewhere along the line, somebody remembered that there was a protest in 1976 during the final between Morocco and Guinea. Now, they mixed it with today's Afcon controversy, added a sprinkle of outrage, and served it hot as breaking news. And just like that, fiction became fact. Let's be clear, Morocco didn't win that title in a courtroom. They won it on the pitch because the game ended in a draw, and in those days, it was a league format, so they won on points. And Guinea, well, they're just watching people drag them into a fight that they didn't sign up for. So the next time you see a story that sounds like it was written by a WhatsApp group with too much data on their hands and not enough patience, take a pause. Because not every throwback is a comeback, and not every headline should send your blood pressure racing. This is Fake News Friday. There's more coming. All right, let's see what's next. And still on Afcon, there's a story that has been making the rounds claiming that Senegal has refused to return the Afcon trophy. They gave it to their president, who in turn handed it to the military, and anyone who wants it must be ready to fight. Now, what is actually true is the Confederation of African Football did strip Senegal of the Afcon title and award it to Morocco after ruling the match a forfeit. Senegal strongly rejected the decision and has appealed to the Court of Arbitration of Sports. Officials in Senegal have described the decision as unfair and administrative robbery. There are reports that Senegal does not intend to return the trophy while the appeal is ongoing. Now, I know that today they have a friendly match and they intend to parade the trophy publicly despite being stripped of the title. So yes, there is a level of defiance. That part is real. Where the story derails is that it was handed over to the president. There's no credible report confirming this, and it was given to the military. There's not a single report about the trophy being moved to a military facility. Now, it's not widely confirmed and not reported by major international outlets either. Now, this is where the rumors start mixing with the facts. Come and fight for it. That part is pure WhatsApp cinema. There's no official statement, no verified quote, just escalation for drama and clicks. Now, what's really happening is that Senegal believes they won on the pitch. CAF says they forfeited the match. The case is heading to arbitration. Meanwhile, Senegal is symbolically holding on to the trophy. It's a legal, symbolic standoff, not a military one. Now, there's also a picture of the Senegalese president, which I saw myself, sitting at his desk with the trophy behind him. Now, that doesn't make all these things true. There's also a photograph of him handing it over to the military. Of course, that is not really true either. Now, the fake version blew up because this is a perfect storm. Football plus nationalism, perceived injustice, existing distrust of CAF, and of course, people love a good "we no go agree" storyline, right? So that's where the story comes from. And yeah, it's dramatic and it's kind of entertaining to hear a country say something like, come on, collect it if you're strong enough. And it spread, like I said, because of the picture the Senegalese president took of him at the desk with a trophy behind him, as well as the one of him handing it to the military. At this point, WhatsApp has turned and social media has turned Afcon into an action movie. Senegal didn't hand the trophy to the military, so just relax. Nobody is guarding it with artillery and tanks. Okay? What's actually happening is Senegal is challenging the decision in court and they're waiting for the verdict. That's about the size of it. And finally, there's nothing like a fake celebrity death. So this has to do with a celebrity death, but it's not a fake one. Chuck Norris, as you will all know, passed away on March 19th. So his passing is actually true. Now, his actual passing, like I said, was a fact. But then there's a fake AI-generated picture which was being circulated this week showing Hollywood stars like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger supposedly attending his funeral. Fact checkers confirmed that the image was AI-generated and is completely false. I still don't believe anything could kill Chuck Norris. Do you? I'll see you all next time.